If you can't understand what I'm saying, you're fucking retarded. I'm not going to explain it to you.
Right, wait, what? Okay, so he's going to explain it, but then he's like, if you don't understand, you're retarded. But it doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Poop, pod, frog, bum, shithole, asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's so fucking... I've actually warmed to it now. Let's look at this Asmongold stuff, because I did speak about the viewbotting stuff, but didn't really pay much attention to the responses. And I mean, it's interesting, like, how do people respond when there's credible allegations that you're viewbotting? Let's have a look. Let's have a little look.
So Twitch is kind of dying. Twitch is, it was on life support. You guys saw this. And now Charlie was right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Anything over 10K viewers? I always think, look, bro, like anybody that goes and gets in their feelings or anything like that about like how many viewers or whatever, like you are a bitch. You are a bitch. And here's the reality. I could lose half of my viewers and I would not stop making...
Start with the Moist Critikal video. No, I'm just going to watch this because he responds to the Moist Critikal video. So I think it's probably fine to just do two for one.
Any amount. I would still make the same amount of money I do now. And do you know why? It's because I get so many viewers that sponsors literally cannot even afford to pay me how much I'm worth. That's the reason why. So I am capped out on sponsors. That's it. Like I'm literally, I'm not even kidding. Like I make like that's it. So it doesn't even make a difference to me. Now it's nice to be ego, you know, oh wow, you're number 1, number 5 this week. Oh good. I don't care really though. I mean, like who gives a fuck? Twitch is a small pond. Who cares about being a pig fish in a small pond?
I have been paying very close attention to the Twitch bot apocalypse. I've kept my finger on the pulse of it. I find it to be a really interesting topic here.
That's right.
For those that don't know, a few days ago, Twitch made good on their promise where they swore...
Am I crazy here, or does it seem like Asmongold is a bit like on tenterhooks here? I get this vibe or feeling. Like Asmon feels a bit in the kind of crosshairs over this viewbotting stuff, because he's one of the people that's been called out for this, apparently.
They did.
They would be making bot detection and eradication a priority.
Eradication.
They finally called attention to a issue that has plagued Twitch since the beginning.
Yep.
Since the genesis of Twitch, in the primordial soup of streaming, there has been...
You think he doesn't give a fuck? Okay, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he doesn't give a fuck about a lot of things that one ought to feel shame for. Like the state of his house, so maybe that's true.
Bots that have infected...
I think that there were bots before there were real viewers.
The platform. And for the longest time, Twitch had gone really hands-off. They said, you know what, if we don't put our hands on the stove...
You know what's going to be really funny is whenever...
Well, the thing is, with the viewbotting thing, is there are distinctions to be made here. Because, obviously, you can get viewbotted without your knowledge or without your input. Right? People can like troll viewbot you. Or a viewer might think they're helping you by viewbotting you. And then also people can obviously viewbot themselves. And the most compelling claim that I've seen is the Devin Nash stuff. And Devin Nash was essentially talking about how, you know, streamers would viewbot, get to a certain point where they get signed by an agency. The agency then benefits from the viewbotting because it increases their viewership for sponsorship deals. And they turn a blind eye to it, right? Or there's also the other argument that some unscrupulous agencies will viewbot their streamers. So it's difficult. It's like not always guaranteed that the person is doing it themselves. And it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the deal is exactly, but you know, there's definitely some sussy-wussy activity, as they say, with this viewbotting thing. And there's definitely some people whose hands aren't clean in all of it, you know?
The Twitch executive leadership get fired because they show a decline in user metrics, and they try to say, oh no, it was just bots, and then they get fired, and then the new leadership takes over and they just let everybody bot again. So every stream is going to have 100K viewers. It's going to be so funny.
Won't know if it's hot. But recently they said that they were going to actually be directly attacking this bot issue.
Yeah.
And a few days ago they rolled out their first targeted strike here.
Yeah, exactly. If you're getting viewbotted for 20k consistently for years straight, it's not a coincidence. It's too precise. Also, Emeru went dark when the bots got turned off for a whole week and popped back in when the bots came back. Mizkif lost 13k viewers in a single stream. OTK and known botters at this point. Yeah, I think either turning a blind eye or having a hand in it, I think that's probably reasonable. Yeah, I think that's probably something to be said for that.
On bots, and boy howdy, it was a doozy. Apparently, the overall viewership on Twitch went down as much as 24% compared to last week.
Real quick, think about that. So going down 24% is actually larger than 24% of the actual real viewership, right? Because if you go down 24%, you're at 75%. You go up 4% again, or 25% again, you don't go back up to 100, right? Like, that's just math. So really, this was like a third. Like, 1 in every 3 viewers wasn't real. Oh my God. We mathin' now? Yeah. We're going to be methin' later.
With many big streamers suddenly losing thousands of viewers. Not just big streamers, streamers
not
of all...
following that logic? Okay, sure. All right, so let me go ahead and take you through this, all right? So
okay, I don't
if you have a total amount...
Bro, I don't care about
they're not
this.
working. Like, they're not... If you are a coin...
Is this obfuscation? Is he obfuscating here? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe this is a bit of obfuscation. Difficult to say.
Actually, you know what? If you can't understand what I'm saying, you're fucking retarded. I'm not going to explain it to you. Go back to 8th grade.
Shapes and sizes lost tons and tons of viewers, like, across the board. It was a pretty big purge of invalid traffic, bot activity. As I said a couple days ago, I was pretty surprised with how hard they hit the ground running here. I thought it would just be like lightly poking the bear, like, oh, we got rid of like 100 bots. Big W, Twitch is saved. But no, they kind of like, they dropped a bomb here. It was a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that a lot of streamers many suspected of being a view botter had just decided not to stream. For like,
the roaches went to scatter.
People.
They were afraid, bro.
Thank you for the $2 Thank you.
Bro, they didn't want it.
Go back to what?
I thought it would just be like lightly poking the bear, like, oh, we got rid of like 100 bots.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I got distracted.
Big W, Twitch is saved. But no, they kind of like, they dropped a bomb here. It was a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that a lot of streamers many suspected of being a view botter had just decided not to stream. For like,
the roaches went to scatter. They were...
What was... Okay. Stylo is correct. How did he out himself? What did I miss? Sorry, did I... Okay, bro. I guess we are watching this then.
This is really... this. We need to get rid of schools, bro. Like, they're not working. They're not working. Like, they're not working, obviously, right? And so...
So, okay. Okay, fuck it. Yeah, there's delay in chat. I'm sorry. It's kind of fucked, but we'll figure it out. I'll try and be more attentive to what's going on. So he's saying that a 24% drop is actually a 33% drop, and it doesn't really make sense.
People?
Yep, true, bro. I told you. Boom. MHM. True. Yes.
Thank you for the super chat.
Asmongold W.
So he's trying to say it's actually more, but it can't really be. It is 24%, and he's being an idiot. Is that right?
Anyway, so if you take and you look at this, 24% is basically half, right? Or a quarter. Mm-hmm. So if you remove this 24%, all right?
Why though?
Actually, you know what? If you can't understand what I'm saying, you're fucking retarded. I'm not going to explain it to you.
Bro, wait, what? Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't have skipped that. I don't know why I did. That's actually a very good point. So he's going to explain it, but then he's like, if you don't understand, you're retarded. But it doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud is too distracted talking to his gay black friend in DMs.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. He's saying they caught 24%, but there are more bots they didn't catch. Well, yeah, but you don't need a graph to explain that, do you? He's clearly on tenterhooks like you said. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I think he is. people are like acting like he's totally nonchalant about this. I do think he's on edge over this stuff. I do think he's on edge. He tried to draw a diagram showing that if you subtract 25% of that principal and then add it back, it will be less than the principal still. Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, does it? But also, that's cope to say that he's saying there's bots that didn't catch. Well, if that's the case, why didn't he say, well, it says 24%, but it's probably more because there's likely bots they didn't catch. You just say that, wouldn't you? You don't need a graph for that. I think yeah. Anyway.
Go back to 8th grade.
I get it.
Shapes and sizes lost tons and tons of viewers, like across the board. It was a pretty big purge of invalid traffic, bot activity. As I said a couple days ago, I was pretty surprised with how hard they hit the ground running here. I thought it would just be like lightly poking the bear, like, oh, we got rid of like 100 bots. Big W, Twitch is saved. But no, they kind of like, they dropped a bomb here. It was a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that a lot of streamers many suspected of being a view botter had just decided not to stream for like...
The roaches went to scatter. They were afraid, bro. They didn't want to. They didn't want to show their faces. They didn't want anybody to know what they were doing. Yep.
The last week or so, inexplicably, just randomly deciding not to stream during the bot purge, which of course has everyone raising an eyebrow.
Yeah.
And of course, all of this has led to a lot of finger pointing,
That's right.
a lot of shit stirring, a lot of spitting, a lot of farting and coming. It's been kind of
Everyone's kind of spitting, farting, and coming.
pandemonium in the streaming space.
Bro, yes, dude. I was right. He is like on edge over this, which is fair enough. I mean, I get it. He's probably named and implicated in this video, but like, he is definitely a bit sweating a bit, right?
As people are noticing, view counts have been dropped from a lot of streamers.
Oh, yeah.
And in some cases, drastically.
Big ones.
So the natural conclusion people are drawing
Real
is
big.
they were view botting.
Right.
And as I predicted, and as everyone predicted, nobody wants to own up to being privy to their channel being view botted, because that's against the rules. They would get banned. No one's ever going to admit to it.
Not necessarily. So this is a little bit of a nuance, and he knows this. It's a little nuance, actually. You can say that you're being view botted, but you just can't be doing it yourself. That's the problem. Because like if you did, like if somebody goes from 10,000 viewers to 100,000 viewers in 1 minute, obviously they're being view botted. So if this person says I'm being view botted, does this person get banned? No, of course not, right? So the problem is that a lot of people enjoyed the popularity that they got from view botting, and they didn't want to say it, and maybe they didn't know whether it was view botting or not, really, because they weren't doing it. I think that there were a lot of people that were doing it themselves. And I think that especially in terms of mid-size and small-size streamers, I think that there was a lot of very soft view botting. And like, you know, because it's like if you're a small streamer, it matters a lot more for you to do that. Obviously it does. So yes, but Tectone is culprit. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that were view botting, right? That's it. Sadly, not many real viewers are not being counted at the moment. Yes, and so Twitch is A/B testing. I personally think...
that's sure. That's pretty agreeable to me, yeah. There's probably some people that were view botting intentionally, got successful off of it, sure, yeah.
This is my opinion. This is maybe a little bit of ego. I personally think that one of the reasons why...
Name names.
Like, I had a little bit of a drop is because a lot of my viewers are actually non-account viewers. Like, they don't make accounts, and they watch me because I'm on YouTube. And so I think that there's a lot of people that were watching me that now they're not being counted because they're lurkers that just watch on a TV. Like,
what? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, bro. What a bizarre defense of yourself. There's people that are watching on TV. Bro, every viewer counts. It doesn't matter if they're logged in or not. It's still counted as a viewer. Bro, I'm like 99% sure.
Like, that's it. Because that's always how it's been, right? That's always how it's been happening. And so clanking, exactly, yes. And so, like, they never chat. They don't even have accounts. And the reason why is that what's unique about me is that you've always been able to watch this stream with no ads. There's never been any ads on my channel. And because of that, you have, really no reason to make an account on Twitch to watch me.
You're saying they're watching YouTube only now? Okay, dude, there are some people that will watch stream and then watch the YouTube clips, maybe for stuff they've missed. I don't believe there's this mass exodus, because he only streams on Twitch, right? He doesn't multi-stream. Because generally speaking, you've got people that are going to watch VODs and people that watch streams. And there's like a Venn diagram where they meet in the middle to some degree. And it's going to be a bit different for each streamer, right? But people tune in for streams for a different experience than they do to tune into a VOD.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Liana Taylor! Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So I just don't really buy this idea that all these people have migrated to VODs. Because people watch a stream because they want the stream experience. And they watch a VOD because they want the VOD experience. I don't think there's like, oh, I'm going to stop watching a live stream and just watch VODs from now on. Maybe if someone had some life change and they couldn't tune into a stream as much, possibly. But I think generally speaking, streamers want to watch streamer viewers want to watch a stream and VOD viewers want to watch a VOD. And there's some crossover, but not where you get this like dip in viewership, I don't believe. Certainly not overnight.
So it's been a lot of cope and a lot of excuses.
But like, again, I don't really think about this a lot. I mean, the last 2 months, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, my dad's been in the hospital fucking twice. I'm having to take off days constantly to help him. I have to cut my days short in order to do.
He's not talking about VODs. He's saying his YouTube audience is way bigger than his Twitch audience. Well, how does that affect his Twitch viewership? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, he's got a big viewership on YouTube. But how does that explain how you have a drop-off in viewership overnight when it just so happens to coincide with this apparent tools that Twitch put in place to deal with bots?
Do that too. That takes, and I'm going to be honest, right? I don't talk about this a lot, but it's a little stressful, you know? I'm just a little bit stressed out every once in a while.
I mean, I'm not sat here thinking like, oh, Asmongold is botting his channel. I mean, I don't really see why Asmongold would bot his channel. Like, the reason he's streaming on his second channel is he's like too mentally ill to stream on the main channel or something. So I don't really think he's going to like be super sweat lording over bots or something like that. Okay, you're trying to explain it to me, and I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I think you just are buying into it because you like Asmongold. I don't fucking understand what he's trying to say exactly at all. How does anything to do with YouTube explain an overnight drop-off of viewership when Twitch implement these new tools? But in any case, I don't think he's like, I don't know why he'd view bot himself. I don't know what the situation is there, but there's clearly something amiss, and that doesn't really satisfy my, thought process with it.
About it. And so anyway, I try to put that aside whenever we're doing the show because nobody wants to fucking hear about all my problems, but at the same time it does exist. And so anyway, I think that's negatively affected a little bit of my content, and I've had to cut down my hours a lot.
Why are we accusing Asmongold? Okay, so the reason that people are saying that Asmongold could be as viewbotting is because he had an overnight drop in viewership that is not explained particularly well. Like, I don't know what the score is. I don't know what the detail is. I'm not hardline accusing him of anything. It's just a bizarre coincidence, maybe. I don't know, but it just doesn't really make sense. And his explanations don't, for me, really stack up that well.
And in order to do that, that's life. Life happens, and that's the way it is. But the problem is that a lot of other people just, they cannot fucking deal with it, bro.
What's the difference between streaming on main or from an mental health perspective? I think his reasoning, which I kind of get, is that when he's streaming on his main account, he feels like he's always got to be on top of his game. He feels like he's always got to be doing this, doing that, playing this game, playing that game. And it got to a point where the pressure got on top of him. And I think he would rather just go and stream, like on a second channel, where the pressure's off and he doesn't have to worry about all this shit. I think that's his kind of thought process with it, from what I can understand.
Bro, they cannot deal with it, and you a bitch.
They did force him to monetize, though, yeah? Yeah, I think so.
You a bitch. I mean, that's all there is to it.
It's like, oh, it must have just been this stranger over here that's been doing this, and I had no fucking clue. I'm glad that it's getting solved.
Sure.
Everyone is talking about this as a positive thing. Meanwhile, in the background, there are people that no doubt are shaking their fist in anger in demanding that their botting service get it under control and fix it because they need those viewer numbers to go back to where they were. Because obviously, if it doesn't,
because they are defrauding sponsors intentionally by selling them fake fucking viewership.
People are going to be aware there was some fraudulent activity there, and the only question remains, did the stream...
Okay, sure, but aren't OTK, like, aren't there... Well, someone in chat was saying it, obviously, but aren't there questions about some of these OTK streamers and some other drop-offs? Does he address that at all? Does he address the OTK kind of allegations?
streamer know? Like, were they guilty of paying for the service themselves? Or was it like an org they were affiliated with? Because according to a lot of the data, which all of which is public.
He isn't a part of OTK. Is he not? Have I missed something? Is he left? Oh, wait, no, hang on. Hold on. He stepped back from OTK. But he's an owner, isn't he? Isn't he like an owner still? He's still got like an interest in it, no? Okay. If he left, I misunderstood what had happened there.
By the way, you can see all of the viewer numbers post and pre-purge. All of this is public, so you can see.
No names. Don't say the names of the people that were doing it. We all know who was doing
wonderful.
it. We don't need to say the names. Everybody knows the names.
Thank you for the super chats.
A lot of streamers that are affiliated with an org, like OTK is the big one everyone's talked about. But not just OTK, there were other orgs coming under fire as well. Namely, FaZe was another one that people had a lot of question marks over their head with, because a lot of the streamers affiliated with FaZe also took huge, drastic drops in their viewership.
Well, yeah, because obviously if you're the owner or founder of a business, sometimes, like, stepping away doesn't mean that you leave the org because you've got a financial interest in it. It just means that you don't have a public connection with it because you're too controversial.
This purge.
Yes.
So the speculation is that these orgs are boosting the numbers of some of the streamers under their umbrella, because by having more success.
Again, logically, what he's saying makes sense. It does not mean that it's true. But if you assume that they are acting in self-interest and they are behaving amorally, you could predict this outcome.
Successful streamers under their brand, it's good for the brand. Obviously, the motivation is to
Which
make
OTK member? Bruce, drop them off.
more money, because you can make significantly more doubloons if the streamers that are under your blanket are more popular. So if you boost your streamers by thousands and
Whatever happened to Bruce? I miss Bruce. Even though Bruce hated white people, I thought I liked Bruce. I always got along with Bruce. I thought he was funny. That's fine. Yeah, whatever happened? He got dropped off? Yeah, what the hell?
Bruce drop him off. He was a black streamer on Twitch. He was associated with OTK. Oh, by the way, I think Kick Chat is out on my multi-stream here, so I'm just going to pop Kick Chat out here. Yeah, he was like, he said a bunch of anti-white stuff, basically, to put it simply. And his community was full of people just saying a bunch of anti-white fucking crazy shit, essentially. Oh, I actually got a fucking slap on the wrist on YouTube for posting a video about Bruce drop him off. They thought the anti-white racism was completely unacceptable. No, I've got kicked. Oh, they're back. You're back. I can see you all again. I can see you all. Yeah, Bruce left OTK, and then it was like he started going on about, I think, about how like it's anti-black or something, right? Something like that.
He's a shit-talking idiot. He has been, but he's also funny, man. He's a funny guy. I liked him, man.
thousands of viewers that they don't legitimately have, you can still bring those numbers to brands that would be none the wiser in the partnership.
Exactly, true.
And according to some other streamers, there's been actually quite a bit of talk from streamers about orgs even like softly admitting to doing this in certain cases.
Really?
I don't know like all the particulars around that, but there has.
Okay, what's this viewer metrics? I'll just look at one of these quick. Update chart for Asmongold. The idea real users created these accounts for drops and are still watching a streamer years later is questionable at best. Okay, this is our second channel. Dude. Creeman, I actually am watching this because I saw you watching it on your stream and I thought this looks interesting. And yeah, I said the same thing earlier. I said that he just seemed very on edge through the video. People were saying, oh, he doesn't care about anything. And I was like, well, he doesn't care about his house, so maybe. But no, I do think he's on edge in this video. It does feel like he's kind of, you know, like anxious, nervous, etc. I don't know. Something like that.
There's been like a lot of discussion that orgs do actually do this. Like, it's not just a full-blown
literal roach behavior that kills the platform, by the way. Literal pulling the ladder up, roach behavior, dog shit behavior.
conspiracy theory, but then the question becomes, well, do the streamers under these orgs know about that? Like, there's just a lot of questions now after all of this bot detection and all this bot purging. It's been a flood of questions, like Yahoo Answers just got revived.
Oh,
did
I remember
the streamers viewbot
How
themselves?
is Babby
Was it
formed?
a member of their community viewbotting the streamer? Did the streamer, are they a victim of like a stranger, a malicious bad actor trying?
You're linking me the Assange graph. Oh, that's going to be controversial. Asmon versus Hassan. There's Asmon's. Accounts being created. And that apparently is Hassan's. Oof. Oof. Because I think, well, I mean, I don't know if there is good evidence that Hassan is botting, necessarily. But, I mean, it doesn't look like it based on this, right? Anyway, listen, I'm not defending. Hassan bad, guys. Hassan bad. Hassan is terrible. Hassan is probably one of the worst people in the streaming world, to be perfectly honest with you.
To artificially
Well, it's simple to answer the question. Do you like the streamer? If the answer is yes, then they've been maliciously botted by a third party. If you don't like the streamer, I am so glad that this view botting piece of shit has been exposed. He's been doing this for years. And
yeah, I think that there's a probably there's some people that are just playing that game. Probably there's some people that are playing that game, yeah. Yeah. Compared to these people, you're out of your mind. Okay, go and check your autism, please, if you didn't understand that was a joke, you fucking idiot. Holy fuck, dude. Oh, dude, okay. Anyway.
now everybody can see him for what he truly is.
their numbers to potentially ruin their reputation. Is there a super fan of the streamer that's trying to boost their favorite streamer to make them more popular because they just love them so much?
Yeah.
Does the streamer know that the org they're affiliated with might be boosting their numbers? Just so many questions. And another big discussion that's come from all of this is about sponsors. Allegedly, some sponsors have been botting sponsored streams in order to make it seem more popular to the average viewer. So they'll
Also, even if Asmon is no longer associated with OTK, I mean, it's difficult because I don't have, like, a document that I can show to you that says, here, look, OTK are definitely botting their streamers or something like that. Right? But there's obviously, you know, some questions, should we say. And Asmon here is acting like it's everyone else. And even if he's not apparently working with them anymore, which I think is overstated. I think he probably does still have financial ties to them. Like, surely that would apply when he did work with them, no?
Let me consult the chart. Where's my chart? This is the chart. This is the company. This is the advertising agency. And this is the streamer.
Okay,
you can go back. This is go back. I have a chart. I already made a chart for this. That's how real it is.
I don't know what that is exactly, but okay.
Artificially boost those numbers so it seems like there's more hype around the product, and they've also been accused of botting even beyond sponsored streams because by being partnered with that streamer.
Queso, don't say Queso. Queso's not botter. He's not a botter. Stop. You can say the name of anybody else, but you can't say Queso. He's not a botter.
Better for their brand if that streamer is perceived as more popular. So they'll boost them even beyond the sponsored stream, just so that way they can use it as marketing material, like, hey, look, we're partnered with this big guy. And meanwhile, a lot of the viewership is botted by the sponsor, allegedly.
Yes, basically, and I think Charlie knows a lot about this because he he runs his own esports org. He's done multiple sponsors. He's been on both.
Yes, guys. You know, people were saying this earlier, right? If you have set up an organization, just to be clear, you don't just leave. You've still got a financial tie, even if you're not actively associating or working with the organization, right? You would have to be bought out of your percentage ownership of the company to leave, and I doubt very much that has happened. Unless you know, unless it's been spoken about, unless there's some proof. Like, to me, it seems like he's trying to create some distance because of his own controversies, and he doesn't want OTK to get smeared with his mess, essentially.
Signs of this, so he understands this, and he might not want to take you behind and show you how the chicken is made. I'll show you how the fucking chicken's made. This is how it happens. You have the company that pays an advertising agency. The advertising agency pays a fucking talent agency. The talent agency pays the streamer. The advertising agency bots the talent agency's stream, and then they make it look like to the company that the sponsor did really well. And so, but it's actually just embedding. And so basically, it is a long list of malicious compliance. That's it. Malicious and disingenuous compliance. Too many middlemen? Yes, exactly. And the thing is that it's all because these are like, so there's
he means how the sausage is made, guys. Come on, let's be sensible.
4 parties involved. Always 3, sometimes 4. There are 4 parties involved. Each contract is between 2 parties. So nobody is getting the full picture of this. But because obviously I've been in every fucking level of this, and I think Charlie has too, he knows this. Let me tell you something. Can I? No, I can't.
I don't understand what the fuck he's saying. I don't get it. I'm confused.
I can't reveal this. I apologize. I cannot reveal this information. But let me tell you something. Streams are not a good way of investing your money if you're an advertiser.
Wrong.
If you're an advertiser, there's a lot of better ways to invest your money.
Give me the money now.
Will this bubble eventually pop? What if I told you it already has? So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like people were getting paid $100,000 to just play a video game for an hour, and they had like 10,000 viewers. And there was no other expectation of them at all. Like, it was literally just fucking, it was a free money. Like, literal fucking free money. This was happening. That's fucking crazy. Isn't that disgusting?
He's saying someone else in the chain of ad money bought the bots. Got it, okay.
And so anyway, companies then, but the problem is that companies were new to the online space because many companies moved from the traditional media space to the online space because of COVID and them having to allocate their marketing budgets. But after they had a couple of years of data and telemetry that they could use to figure out, like, are we actually making our money back here? They realized that nope, Aruskis, we're definitely not.
Well, I think it probably depends on what game, because what gacha games and stuff do is they're essentially searching for whales, right? They just want to find the few people that will spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on their game. So their goal is, get people downloading the game, get people playing it, and within that, you'll find a few people that are going to be willing to put fucking shit tons of money into the game. So gacha games are still knocking about now, and they still will sponsor streamers and stuff like that. But I think, and I would wager that sponsorships where you have to pay something are likely to be less successful for streamers than sponsorships where you can just download a game and play it for a bit, Because the way that these gacha games work, it's like they've got it down to a fine art, where you play it just enough to get a taste for it, you get into it, and then all of a sudden you're hit with a fucking barrier. And then it's like, well, you could either just grind for 3 hours, or alternatively, you could pay us, a trivial sum, just call it $5, and you can just fucking skip this. And then, boom, you're in, you skip it. And then it happens again, and again, and again, and again, and again, The most successful game at this that I took a sponsorship from was Monopoly Go, because of the simplicity of it. The rolls, the fucking dice rolls, dude. They got you by the short and curlies on the dice rolls. Ooh, unfortunate. Seems like you've run out of rolls. How about a $10 for another fucking 500 rolls, though? How about that? So, it's, yeah. That's what they're looking for, I think, with gacha games. Whales are not dependable. Yeah, but they're obviously, you're going to get people that spend a bit of money. right? But the amount of money that you get paid from a gacha game seems ridiculous, to be perfectly blunt with you. You look at it and you think, what, my viewership, you're going to pay me that to play Raid Shadow Legends and get people to download it? Fucking hell. But no, it's because they make their money back from predominantly, you know, a few people spending loads of money and maybe some people spending a little bit of money. But just to give you an idea, right? If someone downloads a game and plays for 2 hours, right? The gacha company will probably pay, I mean, you got to think it's my level. I've got like less viewers on Twitch, whatever. But they'll probably pay you like, I don't know what the amount would be exactly, depending on viewership. But they'll pay you like more than you would expect. I don't want to put an exact figure on it because I don't want to mislead people because other people have got different figures. But you look at it and you think, what, if you played to a level for 2 hours, equivalent, you get paid that much? It's like such a bizarre amount of money, considering that you can get there without spending anything. But it's because they're wanting people that are going to fucking spend to get past it. And obviously, the longer someone plays, the more likely it is they're going to put their hand in their pocket. And then once you put your hand in your pocket in one of these games, all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to do it again, you know? Especially now that you've got things like Google Pay and stuff like that. Literally one click and you can spend fucking $50 on a game, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I think that gacha games are still interested in this space because, you know, people are inclined, you know, for that reason. But more traditional stuff where you got to buy a product, I think for streamers probably isn't as successful.
And so now you have way less paying, way less paying.
I also want to mention that in only 2 days here, it seems that there are some botting services that have already found ways of circumventing these bans. There are some streamers that have miraculously bounced back after a 3-day plummet to not only where they were, but in some cases even higher.
Wow.
Despite nothing changing in their content.
Rising like a phoenix, reborn from the ashes. Who would do that? I'm not going to say the name of the person who had Tectone.
Huh? Did you call that Tectone?
It's crazy, right? I don't think it was him doing it, but it's crazy that he ended up getting 14,000 viewers. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, I see.
That's my boy, by the way.
I got it. He's saying it could be a third party doing it, right?
But I think even he knows that.
Doing nothing different. So it does look like in certain cases, some bots have found a way to evade this. So I'm hoping this isn't Twitch's only action here against bots, because as I mentioned, it's going to be an ongoing tug of war.
So Lacey?
And it is good for the entire platform.
Didn't XQC call Lacey fat? We got to watch that clip after this. I forgot about that.
To do your best to stop bot activity. Fake, phony, baloney numbers are bad for all of the streamers on the platform, except for, of course, the ones that are paying to win in the streaming space.
No, it's not even.
I think everyone I think everyone agrees Tectone was doing it. It could be that it was a third party doing it, but then why did he intentionally get banned? That doesn't make any sense. Like randomly out of nowhere, he decides to go on a tirade and get banned. Very inconvenient timing if you didn't want to be seen as intentionally botting.
Good for them, because in the long run, sponsors will stop paying them money because they won't get the rate of return. That's why sponsors, like, again, if you are a marketing agency, like, again, if you don't know, by the way, if you're running marketing and you have a $10+ million campaign, you don't know what to do with $10 million, just message me. I'll tell you what to do with it. I sort it out for you.
Which is another thing. There is a very real possibility, and something that has been talked about by some of the biggest streamers, that a strategy that used to be used and is probably still employed to a certain degree is some streamers would bot their streams for a while to try and grow an organic viewer base, and then they would completely stop paying for the botting service and just...
So this happened to a New World streamer. So there was a New World streamer who did this, and I called him out, and I brought him in voice chat, and he said, of course I'm going to viewbot. Everybody else is viewbotting.
Wasn't there a black guy that did this? We saw this the other day, the Kai Cenat associate that somehow Kai Cenat was getting blamed for. But there was a black guy that was clearly, obviously viewbotting. He was some total shitter. Rakai, that was it, wasn't it? That Rakai guy. Well, Your Age got accused as well by XQC, and his response was quite lackluster. But no, it was more of that Kai Cenat guy. And it was obvious he was viewbotting, and it was like, bro, how you got fucking a bajillion viewers at your level, your size, even connecting up with Kai Cenat?
And I've got to do it to stay ahead of him.
Rakai.
It wasn't F Extra Life. It was not F Extra Life. And I said, okay.
Well, F Extra Life wasn't viewbotting. What F Extra Life was doing was quite clever, really. But he was essentially embedding his streams in popular Wikipedia pages for things like, Dark Souls or some shit. So when you went onto the site, you would have this random F Extra Life stream playing in the corner somewhere. And that would then count as a view if you stayed on the page long enough. So we ended up with like an absolutely ridiculous amount of views, considering the size he is. And then eventually that got stopped and views got cut massively. Because, you get fucking ads and shit for all that. It's crazy. It's crazy the money farm that he had going. Yeah, it's spiritually viewbotting, I would say. Spiritually viewbotting, yeah.
I said, but this is what's happening. He's like, yeah, this is what's happening. And he was embedding, to be fair. He was not viewbotting, which it's functionally the same thing, but it's not. The New World expansion comes out.
I say it's not exactly. It is spiritually viewbotting because that is not a genuine viewer. It's like organic viewbotting or something. I don't know, but you're turning a person into a viewbot without them knowing, but they are a human. But they're not clicking on your website to look at your stream. They're clicking on your website to look up a guide how to beat a boss in whatever fucking Souls-like game.
Embedding is removed. He's the #1 stream. He faked it until he made it. That's inspiring. You cheat to win. That's what they say. ABC, always be cheating.
Let the organic numbers start to take over as more people assimilate to the community. So, of course, this is never going to detect that strategy, but even still,
of course it will.
Twitch needs to do everything it can to stop bots because it is very bad for everyone on the platform to just let this rampant issue continue and spiral out of control. Now, I think I need to explain why I have this perspective and so many people have this perspective because I've seen a lot of people downplaying this as like not a big deal, like this is a fucking nothing burger.
Yeah.
Who cares about view counts? If you can pay for it, you should do it. It gives you the advantage in the space. You got to stand out in the market.
Yeah.
So if you can do anything to get an edge, you got to fucking do it. And yeah, you're right. It's a saturated market. So obviously buying view bots is going to immediately help you stand out by floating to the top of a category. So that way,
if you are in a boxing match and you bring a gun into the boxing ring and you shoot the guy that you're going to be boxing with the gun, it will make it easier for you to win the match. But I think that we can all agree also that this is unsportsmanly behavior. This is not sportsmanship. Don't tell Rasha that.
Georges will see you at the front there, and they'll click because you've got the most viewers. So obviously there's a lot of hubbub there, and they want to see what all the fuss is about. So check out your stream because you have artificially inflated the numbers.
Right.
And then you have now occupied that viewer, which takes it from another streamer that is legitimately streaming.
So the reason why, and Charlie's explaining this in I think a good way, but I think that it's very, very simple, right? It's so obvious. Streamers are aggregated by their view count. So the person with the most viewers is going to be at the top. So like if you're right here, it's better to be right here than it is to be right here. And it's better to be right here than it is to be right here. And it's better to be right here than it is to be right here. And so being closer to the top of the directory is beneficial for anybody who wants to grow their channel. And it's because Twitch has a snowball effect. And that's the way that it works. It's algorithm. It's basic. Lacey's bot. I don't know if Lacey's bot. I'm not gonna say Lacey's, but I don't know if Lacey's botting. I have no fucking idea.
Not gonna lie, I forgot I was watching you. Sorry, I'll react. I need to react more. Sorry, guys. I'll react more.
I don't care. Well, I do care. I think that if he's botting, they should get rid of the bots. It's the same with everybody. But like, I don't know. Oh my god, I'm not gonna go and accuse Lacey of botting.
To an audience and a real community of people there to watch them instead of just an army.
He's ranking top to bottom by view counts. It doesn't matter. Twitch is driven by viewer count. Your success is driven by like the baseline of your viewer count. The more viewers you get, the more likely you are to get recommended, more likely you are to be clicked on. Because guess what? When you go and look at a category, what fucker is doing it on randomized, right, or whatever the fucking thing is? Okay. You are probably going to yourself click top to bottom because you're going to think, well, the more viewers someone has got, the better they probably are as a streamer, so I'm going to watch them. Who the fuck goes into a gaming category on Twitch and goes, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch someone with barely any fucking viewers. Do you know what? I'm going to search bottom to top. I'm going to have a look at who's got no viewers and watch them. Bro, you're fucking delusional. You are going in, clicking a game, top to bottom. You're probably looking at the first couple of lines and you're picking a stream out of that. That is how you're engaging with Twitch.
Of clankers. In fact, the argument kind of mirrors something from many moons ago when Twitch was still pretty new. I'm going to take you back to the past to talk about some titties and ass. There was a huge trend on Twitch for a while with something called booby streamers.
Hey! Classic drama. Love that drama.
Yep. I remember booby streamers. I sure do. Yeah.
A bit weird. Bit weird.
Where
Wonderful.
there was a trend on Twitch where
A little bit weird.
People.
Chud has had so many days off now he is now daydreaming of PubGok and listening to Asmon and forgetting he is doing his job. Chud is clock watching.
Thank you for the tip. Dude, it's just a long video and I want to get through it because there's something else I want to get to after this. Got some more jar tab.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how
I'm
do
excited.
I make money?
Thank you,
off
Russian
depressed
Painter. Thank you,
I'm
Raz.
watching Moist Critikal, watching Moist Asmongold, watching Moist Critikal. In my life I must have took a wrong turn to end up here.
Thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
streamers would try and wear the most revealing clothing that Twitch would possibly allow in the most sexual of positions.
Yes.
And constantly putting cleavage as like the main hook to draw viewers in. And this drew a lot of outrage because people believed that by doing that, they were stealing viewers from their streams because they weren't showing cleavage and everything.
Yes.
It was a huge debate that raged on for...
Bro, I gotta be honest with you. This is the fucking... Dude. The cope from shitter streamers that some dumb bitch has taken viewers away from you. If you're getting viewers stolen by some dumb whore, that sounds like a you problem, actually. Like, what do you mean? Someone's got a tits out and she's beating you. Sounds like a skill issue, to be honest with you. That was the biggest cope from absolute fucking no-hopers playing Warzone in a mediocre way on fucking 20 viewers. Never going to get past fucking partnership numbers, right? Moaning about some woman getting more viewers. Right? If you go and look at the top streamers on Twitch, they are predominantly men. It is mainly men that are the top streamers on Twitch. It's totally bogus to act like booby streamers were effective. There are problems with booby. Don't get me wrong, I spoke about it at length when it was going on. There's obviously problems with it. But the problem is not some glup shito with 20 viewers not getting 30 viewers because some whore's fucking stealing them.
years, actually, and people were always
Is that not going anywhere? Well, anybody that's watched this stream for a long time knows exactly where that went.
split on whether or not that was the case. Was this streamer with cleavage stealing a viewer from this guy over here who was building a brazen bull in Minecraft? Well, the jury was always out. But in this case, there is
I'll give Moist Critikal that one.
data, clear-cut, irrefutable evidence that viewbotting your streams and fucking leapfrogging your way ahead of everyone that is legitimately streaming with less viewers than you does actually steal the viewers from them.
It's
you are
undeniable.
directly competing in the exact same content,
Yes.
but you have now
Undeniable.
floated more visibly to the top through artificially inflating your numbers, fundamentally paying to win, and cheating the system.
True.
That 100% does take viewers away from the actual streamers on Twitch. Across the board. It's not a...
Asmon, come over. See, bro, somebody says it and they show up. Can you believe that? Wow. It's like one of those duck callers.
Okay.
debate, and it's not like a competitive advantage. You are cheating. You are breaking...
Explain CuteBot then. Well, Stylo is raising a fair point that some of these women are talentless idiots and they wouldn't gather any viewership without their assets or whatever, sure. But, I mean, CuteBot runs a good show, right? I mean, CuteBot runs an interesting show. even though she's there half naked, I think that people also are tuning in for the stupid dating shit that's going on, right?
The rules of the website too, by the way. Twitch just doesn't choose to enforce them very often. They have just let this go unchecked.
I mean, guys, to be clear, I think it's fucking dross and I don't watch it, right? But I'm just saying that I've watched some clips and stuff before back in the day when I covered more, you know, Twitch affairs. But I think from, like, you can see why people would be interested in watching that. It's a compelling content, right? Even if you personally don't like it, you can understand why it gets a lot of views. What am I coping about? Watching some fucking loser get chewed out by a woman half naked. I mean, you know, sure, you could argue that's contributing to it, but people, you know, also are tuning in because the guy's getting chewed out by some fucking bitch.
Checked for an extremely long period of time.
Right.
But it's not allowed. You're not supposed to be able to do that. So this, again, is not a debate. So the problem is that shit sucks. That is bad, not only for all the streamers that are doing it legitimately, but it's also bad for the platform. I'm actually kind of surprised Twitch doesn't face more hot water for their handling of bots for this long.
I'm surprised Twitch doesn't face more hot water, period. How is it that you can have both? Like, the thing is that if you think about the nutballs that are on Twitch.
Wow. Oh, wow, dude. Oh, bro. What, you going to tell me Twitch are inconsistent? Oh my god, this is literally this is the first time that I'm hearing this information.
Nothing ever happens. Nothing, it never happens. There's never an issue at all. And I would assume that, like, you would see way more crash outs about this. People are dying on Kick. Yeah. It's like, damn, Twitch, this guy said, wait, somebody died on Kick again? Wait, how many is it this week?
Because while Twitch on their back end can identify fraudulent traffic and adjust your ad revenue for it, that is something they've talked about before, how like
they can and they can't. It's not always, it's sometimes, and they also can only, like, this is mostly, this is a 80, I'd say 80% yes, but 20% no.
If you viewbot a stream up to 2 million viewers instantaneously and then just start farming ads, Twitch will go and analyze that traffic to see if it's real, and they will adjust your earnings on it. I've seen them talk about that. While Twitch can do that on their back end and not lose their ass on that, you know who can't? Brands that work with streamers. The way
That's right. That's right. He's so right about this. And the thing is that, give me a minute, I gotta use the bathroom. Whole platform uses the same method. They literally allow.
Dude, the problem you got with this talking point, though, is I just don't think people if you're really into streamer meta drama, you might care. But I think most people, I mean, are you going to give a fuck about, you know, brand getting fucking ripped off? Like, I don't know, dude. Most people probably don't give a shit, do they? Like, they probably give a shit because their streamer will say they should give a shit. But most people probably don't fucking care about a brand getting ripped off. If anything, they might actually support it a little bit.
Nefarious content? Nah. The thing is, the reason why they do it is that, like, I mean, I'm worried that Twitch, the leadership are going to get fired for this. This is going to be a Jesus situation. It's going to be a...
Guys, I'm hearing on good authority that Dan Clancy is on his final warning and he is on the precipice of getting pushed from the company. Any day now, they're going to announce that Dan Clancy's been fired. Or stepped down, I should say. That's how they normally do it, don't they?
Jesus situation, because what's going to happen is that the executives are going to look and they're going to be like, hey, why is the number red? It's supposed to be green. It's red. Get the fuck out of here. And then they bring somebody else in and they're going to do the same thing. I'll be right back.
brand partnership works when it comes to streamers is they base your pay...
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't care, by the way. I'm concerned about it, sure. And it does have a negative impact on the ecosystem and the space. And in fact, I think Trainwreck's posted about it recently too, backing up what I think Devin Nash had said, or what XUC had said even. And it was pointing out that you've got these streamers that have basically farmed a bunch of ad money off of sponsors with this viewbotting shit. And these companies have gotten kind of tired of it and not gotten the returns they wanted, in some cases because of all the viewbotting shit. And they fucked off and they're not interested anymore. And a bunch of like middle of the road kind of streamers have got fucked over because the money that they could have potentially been getting off the back of this has been soaked up by these massive streamers that have been gaming the system essentially.
Off
on
how many viewers?
your metrics.
Partially true, but there's also a link that they can use to cross-reference and use telemetry to figure out in an aggregate the value of your sponsorship. And you've had more brands that are doing that. But yes, what he's saying is generally true.
Metrics that you provide, well, that's not going to account for bots. They can only go off the information that is accessible.
That's what I did.
And they don't have that back-end ability that Twitch has to go in there and see, well, who's a real viewer versus a fake one? Like, how many bots are here?
Yeah.
They only have your metrics. So that's your average viewers, which could easily be hyperinflated because of bots. So what streamers can easily do, and definitely have done, is they boost all of their numbers to really high levels that they really are not achieving.
This is called the F Extra Life special. So there is a channel called F Extra Life on Twitch. What's funny is that I criticize them a lot. A lot of people criticize them. What ended up happening is that they stopped streaming on Twitch, and now the guy that does it makes great YouTube videos. He's great. I've watched a few of them. I think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I just actually looked. I didn't realize that. For Extra Life, I looked up his stats, and it's like nothing for the last year. Because I think when they switched off that ability, I think he just fucking knocked Twitch on the head. Because he thought, fuck this. I'm not fucking doing this shit without fucking farming money off of my embeds.
But they would have a fucking embedding, and the embed would give them like 30,000 views, and they'd be sitting there with a sponsor at the top of the directory. Like, how much money did you get from the sponsor? Do they know that, like,
yeah dude, it's crazy.
Nobody's watching this shit? I mean, at what point is this?
Bro, to be honest with you, as much as it fucks up the ecosystem or whatever, I don't know, bro, it's kind of based. It's kind of based, isn't it? Farming all this money off of sponsors, stuff in his pocket, so they go, right, see it. Oh, looks like they switched that off now. See you later. Bye-bye.
Fraud. I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. In my opinion, it is undeniably fraud. It's not even a question of if it's fraud. It's so obvious.
It's not real viewers. It is all fraudulent, invalid traffic from botting services. They will inflate their viewer numbers.
That, yeah.
Then brands will approach them, or they will approach brands about doing a partnership or a sponsored stream.
And somebody might say, but I hate advertisers. I hate brands. I want them to get scammed. Fuck brands. Why would I care about brands losing money? That's you when your brain is the size of an egg. Now let's look at you whenever your brain is the size of a galaxy.
It's hilarious how incomplete his wikis are. Well, yeah. He didn't give a fuck, did he? All you need to do is be able to click on it, get his view for 30 seconds or whatever, and that just churned through however many people are clicking on it. And that was enough. He didn't need people to actually get the info from there. Yes, I got the Roger Jackson updates, don't worry.
Sponsor cannot make money on the allocated effort that they have put into a sponsorship. They will then increase the amount of time and advertisement metrics that are required in order to recoup those losses. Which means that for you, dear viewer, you get to see more ads, more often, more intrusively.
They'll provide those viewer numbers, which will have the brand
call a second order effect,
and then give them higher pay than what they should be receiving. And the brand will pay this money under the impression that it's being...
You're saying ad block. No, you're not. We're talking about a sponsor. I'm not talking about like an ad block. Ad block stops like a YouTube ad. I'm talking about like a streamer doing a sponsored game. Like, okay, let me give you a functional example. Streamers have to play a video game now for 2 hours instead of 1. Okay? Like, is it Jesus, how...
being served to X amount of viewers. And those viewers, they're assuming are real, legitimate human beings with a pulse. But in reality, a lot of times, it's being served to bots.
Yes.
Aren't even there, aren't consuming it at all. So they're paying a lot of money to be put in front of bots without their knowledge.
They're being defrauded, and I think if they went to court, they would win.
In some cases, of course, that's not every case. As I mentioned earlier.
I don't know if they... torturous inference or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't know what you'd file under. But I would have thought that you'd probably just have to accept that it was like a shitty deal. Because the thing is, Twitch have got plausible deniability, or the org has got plausible deniability to say, well, we can't account for botting. Unlucky, you know? So I don't even know how you would file a lawsuit. You'd probably just, you know, learn your lesson, as some have done, and fuck off and not come back and don't spend any more ad money in Twitch and stuff. Or, you know. Torturous inference. I don't fucking... You know what I'm talking about? I don't fucking know. But yeah, man, I don't know, dude. You know, that doesn't really... I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you can file a lawsuit over, like, that. Personally, I'm not sure, but...
There are some
I think it's indefensible. It's indefensible. There's no way...
Unless you had bulletproof evidence that the person was doing it and defrauding you by giving you fake analytics. You know? Like, there's probably... Well, to be fair, there's probably some sort of contractual thing where part of the contract is going to be how many viewers you've got, and if it could be proven that you're manipulating or lying about that in some way, then maybe they could take you to court on those lines. You know, you lied in the contract about this detail. Something like that. Other than that, you're probably shit out of luck.
You can win this in court.
That have been accused of botting the sponsored stream itself in order to float more visibly to like Twitch in whatever category they're in. So there are definitely some brands that are more than fine with using botting services to make it seem like it's more hype and there's more interest in this sponsored stream.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, there's 20,000 viewers here to watch, you know, the poop that took a pee 2.0 just dropped. Look at all these people in here that are watching this sponsored stream. Meanwhile, it's the agency itself that is paying to boost those numbers. So,
and if you would refer back to the A in the graph, that A stands for agency.
Both of these things happen where a brand will be none the wiser that what they are paying for is not getting served.
Bro, I love the little fucking, you know. And if you throw back to the A, that means agency. Poop, pod, fraud, bum, shithole, asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's so fucking... I've actually warmed to it now. I think I've seen enough Moist Critical content that is actually, I'm warm to it.
To real human beings that they expect it to, it's getting served to bots. And there are some brands that pay to actually just use the bots to try and generate this artificial hype around something. The way that bots function in the Twitch ecosystem is fucking crazy. I really am kind of surprised Twitch hasn't faced more problems from these companies for it. Like companies that might feel defrauded. Like they paid hand over fist to these streamers based on these viewer numbers only to learn, well, they're all being botted because Twitch does not care about botting. They kind of gave the soft green light that they're not going to crack down on it and don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a...
When sponsors approach you or the people that approach you, do you ever have a range like stream must be at 200 viewers? I get it through Stream Elements. I'm so lazy. I need to like get an agency to send me offers and stuff based on my total viewership, not just Twitch numbers. But yeah, it's based on Twitch numbers, so they just kind of, you know, it's default and automatic. But in any case, yeah, normally they want to know your analytics to establish how much they should pay you.
Well, fuck, exactly. And if you're a brand, you need to be thinking about, like, if you're a brand and you're still thinking about, I'm going to pay this streamer to play this video game, the only time that that's a good idea is when you're paying me. Besides that, horrible idea. Should never do it. You've got to be a little bit more creative than that.
I imagine some brands would be really pissed to learn that. And I'm surprised they haven't,
being honest,
called out Twitch or tried to handle this litigiously or something about it.
Being honest.
I don't know. I just found that to be a little interesting because...
Trying to keep it real.
It is very clear botting is a huge issue on Twitch.
Yeah.
When they finally took their first real step in fighting against this menace, their overall platform viewership dropped 24%. Oof. And that's just the first snowball in an avalanche of bots, I imagine. That is the first wave. Can you imagine if Twitch actually deleted every bot from the platform? I wonder how high that percentage drop would have gone.
I'd have dozens of viewers.
You know what I mean? Now,
good one,
in reality, I don't think that's ever
Gold.
going to happen.
Little joke,
little
little obfuscation joke, lovely.
Order to fight and
just like Tectone joking about the view bots being disappointed with his ban.
Every bot when these services are constantly going to be doing everything and spending tons and tons of money of their own to evade bot detection.
Yes.
Because they have so many clients that use them. There will probably always be bots on Twitch. Not only on Twitch, it's obviously on YouTube and every other streaming platform as well.
YouTube, it's less common for algorithmic reasons.
I understand that. And also, I feel as though Twitch might be apprehensive about this anyway. Like, if Twitch had a magic button that they could press it, and it would guarantee every bot and all invalid traffic would be banned on Twitch from this point forward and could never...
You guys want a conspiracy theory? I'm going to invent one right now. I'm going to make this up. What if Twitch is actually only stopping botting from channels that they don't want to represent Twitch on a large scale?
God, Asmon fucking sucks. Zero reaction, Andy. Well, I can hardly talk. I can hardly talk.
So what if there are actually channels that are still botting, but because Twitch likes the PR that type of channel brings to them, that they allow botting with that channel, but they disallow it with other channels? I'm not naming names.
Sure.
Never return. It'd basically be like in K-pop Demon...
Wait, sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. Lamau, funny conspiracy theory that attacks Hassan and other lefties. Let me... Sorry.
Botting the PR. They're only stopping botting from channels that they don't want to represent Twitch on a large scale. So what if there are actually channels that are still botting, but because Twitch likes the PR that type of channel brings to them, that they allow botting with that channel, but they disallow it with other channels? I'm not...
That is a Hassan mention. But yeah, I mean, that just seems like total fucking cope. That seems like utter cope to me. I don't think that's happened. That seems ridiculous. So what, they just switched it off for the fucking Hassan orbit, basically?
Naming names.
Bro,
never return. It'd basically be like in K-pop Demon Hunters when they fully seal away all the demons, they can't return. If Twitch could do that right now, I think they would be very apprehensive about it. Because we just saw them take one step in fighting bots, and they lost 24% of their viewer base over the last...
Imagine losing that much, bro. Like, just in a week.
Days that it's been there. Like,
what would happen if you guys at your job, you caused the company to lose 24% of its customer base in a week? What would happen at your job? You guys get fired? Yeah, I think so.
That's a huge drop, and if they did it even harder, that number would only climb, and I imagine they would be worried about all of their brand partners starting to jump ship, like, oh no, Twitch is dying, look at this graph. You see how there's no more views, it's all dried up? Time to pull our ad spend from Twitch. I think they would be worried about the future.
I don't think that would happen particularly, but I do think that advertising on Twitch would be a harder sell, because you're going to deal with large brands that don't have as much competency in the space. And so they might not have, like, a lot of the, and this is the problem right now, is that, like, it looks like a lot of venture capital firms and investment firms have kind of fixed the glitch with this kind of stuff. And they have guys in there that are, like, probably around our age. And those guys really kind of know what's going on. And so they can tell bullshit from not bullshit. But with a lot of these advertising agencies, there's still a tremendous amount of top-down decision-making, and I think it's much more corporate in that way. And because of that, you have a degree of even guys that know it's problematic. They know that at the end of the day, basically, like, how many of you guys work at a job where there's like 3 different levels of like your product cycle that are effectively malicious compliance, where you know that you're doing it wrong, but you're meeting a quota, and then the person that's above you knows that you're doing it wrong, but they're meeting a quota. Like, yeah, right?
Like, what's he on about?
Exactly. Yeah, this is a huge problem.
Of Twitch if they did that, because their viewer count numbers would be so
maybe I'm just a retard, but I don't really get it. Third worlders getting the internet was a mistake. That much I'm sure of. I tell you, that sounds a bit racist, doesn't it?
Lower, significantly lower that they'd probably be getting hit financially pretty hard from all of these sponsors that are paying money to be put there. And brands don't really care about, like, the nuance of what the numbers say. They only care about what the numbers indicate. So most of the brands, I imagine, would see this. And in fact, some of them are probably already worried with the 24% drop.
Yeah.
But if it got even higher, some brands would probably see this, and they wouldn't take into account like it's all bot activity. They would see this and be like, nope, this is dangerous. This is not worth the ad spend. We're pulling out.
Yep.
And even if they did bother to take a little bit of time looking into it, they might feel slighted by Twitch for letting this bot problem persist for so long, and they were spending so much money for what...
So, in general, the advertisers that actually have contracts with Twitch, I'm speaking partially out of understanding and partially out of implication and assumption. Many bots do not...
Chud staring into the dark abyss of his inner mind, and every 3 to 7 minutes going, sorry, what? I don't really get it. No, I was trying to listen to what he was saying. I'm actually bright and breezy today. Guys, tell DK. It's been good today, hasn't it?
Not actually see ads. So the amount of viewership that you
Guys,
get...
there's like 5 minutes left, and then we're going to do this new jar tent that I've seen, okay? So let's just lock in. I'll take a quick break, and I'll come back refreshed once again, okay?
Ads doesn't necessarily go up at the same ratio that your bot numbers go up. So like if you bot to 100K viewers, it's not like your ad revenue immediately goes to 100K viewers ad revenue. Really? Yeah, because that's the way that botting works, right? And so and there's different ways that bots are counted, and that's the way that Twitch does this, right? They're A/B testing to remove different impulses of like how that red number goes up or down.
Ultimately amounted to a lot of invalid traffic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I think Twitch would be really skeptical.
Yep, definitely agree with all that. That's all true. Sure, yep.
About getting rid of every bot, even if they could. Which is why I was so surprised that they went this hard out of the gate against the bots and actually did make a dent in it.
Sept, yeah, I got the year ban wrong. I've already taken the L for that. My apologies for doing poor reporting.
And I hope they continue to do this. I hope that they didn't they're going to
give up
the brakes like, oh, that was a lot. We took a big viewership
Twitch
hit
is
there
going to give
all
up.
this bot stuff. Let's maybe,
they're going to give up on botting. They're going to give up. I'm going to tell you why they're going to give up. They're going to give up because if people feel like they're losing too many viewers and they're not getting a lot out of Twitch, they're going to go to other platforms like Kick that allow these viewership inflations to happen. And basically, and Kick pays better, right? So like Twitch, one of Twitch's biggest competitive advantages is that they are the biggest pond. Even though they're still a small pond, they're the biggest small pond of live streaming. So if you don't have that, if you don't have that intrinsic value, then you're immediately going to have people going over to platforms like Kick and platforms like Rumble. Like the Kick incentive program is insane. Yeah. Like a lot of people make, I'll tell you right now, I've showed you my revenue from the Kick incentive program. It's a lot of money. So you've got a ton of people that are making money off of that, doing this constantly. And because of that, whenever Twitch doesn't have that competitive advantage of a bigger number and a larger ecosystem that you can exist in and then sell the sponsors, then Twitch loses that competitive advantage in the market and they can run the risk of losing market share to other platforms.
I've only just bigger than Twitch, given HoloLive and ET, but I think live streaming specifically, I've not checked recently, but I think Twitch is still number one. But I do think that, Kick have gained ground on that. And YouTube will probably gained ground as well. So yeah.
Pull our punches a little bit. Yes. I hope they don't go down that path.
Yeah.
I do hope they continue to make this a priority and do legitimately try and get as many bots off of Twitch as they possibly can. Anyway, that's enough blabbering about it from me today. That's about it. Yep.
That's about
Someone says Twitch is a business, the others aren't. I would argue that I don't know what Twitch's value is. I see that, but I haven't seen your.
Rumble is it swept into the swept into the long grass at this point. When was the last time anything happened with Rumble? Rumble is literally the graveyard. It's like if you get banned everywhere else, you go to Rumble and you upload your, disgusting hate-filled content on there. I mean, I actually had someone reach out from Rumble saying, oh, how can we get you on the platform? And I'm just like, oh, Maybe, I don't know. But also, guys, the people over there are like deranged, right? You think kickers are bad? Kickers are a pleasure, as it is anyway. But especially compared to fucking Rumble people. They're like spouting insane fucking conspiracies, Jew stuff, all that nonsense.
Capital taught me to support my favorite view-botted streamer to steal money from the evil corporate bourgeoisie. This is how I make an impact. Flexed biceps emoji, nerd face emoji.
Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. The only reason to go on Rumble is to watch a big Bungie video. That's it.
Seen your balance sheets. I haven't seen the amount of money that Twitch actually generates for Amazon. And I don't know if Twitch is operating because Twitch has a tremendous value as being the de facto website in the Western media space for live streaming. This is a tremendous value that Amazon has intrinsically by market share, but operating at a loss. Yeah, so if Twitch is operating at a loss and Kick is operating at a loss, and then Twitch acts as a a loss leader for Amazon Prime, for Amazon TV shows, and for Amazon products, and as also an advertisement for AWS indirectly, then is it really that much different than Kick operating as a loss leader for Stake?
Well, I think I don't know the figures and stuff on this. Obviously, it's a lot of detailed information, but I would presume that people that go from Kick to gambling are probably bringing more money into the coffers than people getting Amazon Prime. I don't think that Twitch is a good source of revenue. I can't imagine it's a good source of revenue for Amazon Prime. You know? I'd assume that Kick is probably, per viewer, because obviously Twitch has got more viewers, but per viewer probably making more money if they go over to the gambling stuff.
At a business, morally, you could make many arguments about that. But from a business sense, it's all about data from signed-in viewers, exactly. Yeah, from a business sense, it's functionally the same thing, right? It's all about data from signed-in viewers. We got a Twitch staff in chat. Y'all need to fix that shit. And I know you can't say it. But you might have a YouTube channel. Look at y'all. Amazon's analytics.
Dude, Chud's best segments are the ones where he has that little cute little folder on his bookmark bar with the links he has carefully ordered to create coverage. Dude, we did that for the Tectone stuff. You're right. You're absolutely right. This was kind of a follow-on. And to be fair, I've gotten a bit bored of this as time has gone on, I'll admit. Started off well, but the Tectone coverage was great, I think. You'll see.
Y'all really are behind.
Oh, I basically... rather than we use the same settings, I set up a whole new stream, and I forgot to change that setting. So, yeah, I fucked myself over.
And I know everybody at Twitch, everybody at the leadership, everybody in the executive, y'all know this. I don't know how y'all are letting this happen. How are y'all letting this happen? You're so behind on your analytics. And I know y'all are doing some things in the back end. I saw them a couple of years ago, but man, I don't think you're keeping up. I don't see how people can get their money back advertising on Amazon products and on Amazon services versus Google AdWords. I'm just not seeing it. But I don't know. That's just that's my 2 cents. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe y'all fixed it. But that's just, that's my 2 cents. And
okay,
so, yeah, I don't
we're done
know.
with this, I think.
Bad numbers. Yeah, exactly. You're in the crazy state with the silent? Well, no. I mean, I'm just saying in general, right? That's it. And, yeah, not my department. That's convenient for you. Good. All right, I'll link y'all the video, guys. That's the video. Obviously, I love Charlie. Watches videos all the time. Make sure to give the video a like. I think he's right about what he's saying here. There's some minor, functional. I think it's gonna be a little bit different than this or that. But overall, I agree with what he's saying here. Absolutely. So, huge fucking W. And
well done, Asmongold. Well done, mate. Well done, buddy. Right. Board streamer, board chat. Yeah, dude, we just finished watching a 45-minute video, which was okay at the start and then got boring towards the end. I wasn't engaging as much with the video as it went on, and that then therefore leads to less chat interaction, because if you're not invested in what's going on, chat aren't going to be as invested either. Basics of streaming, guys.